When Fall River votes for rail and becomes part of the MBTA community, will that increase the city's costs or taxes of the Fall River residents?
No, it will not. The City of Fall River currently pays $1.5 million in regional transportation assessments for the SRTA bus system. MBTA bringing in rail will require a $900,000 assessment. Therefore, the money Fall River already pays in regional transportation assessment will be covering the MBTA costs. Even if the MBTA assessment goes up in the future or the population in Fall River grows, there is still such a large delta between what Fall River pays and what the MBTA is requiring. That is my understanding. Most likely in the future, there will be no additional cost to the City of Fall River or the taxpayers of Fall River.
Should city residents be concerned about gentrification or being unable to afford to live in their communities as a result of the rail?
So there's a lot of anecdotal information out there about communities being unaffordable when rail comes in. But the fact is there is no history to support that. When you look at areas like Lakeville, Attleboro, Worcester, these towns have had rail for many, many years now. And in the beginning, we did not see those spikes, and we did not see the spikes in property costs as well. What we do see right now, not only in those areas, but also in New Bedford and Fall River, are increased rental costs and housing costs. And that's a direct result of housing inventory problems. And they're not just housing inventory problems in this area, in the SouthCoast area. We have a housing inventory shortage in all of Massachusetts. That housing inventory shortage has nothing to do with rail, but it's something that will need to be addressed in the future.
Will residents see spikes in property taxes because of the rail?
No. Property taxes are paid on assessed value and not market value. So even if the rail comes in and the market value of your property goes up, you do not pay taxes on your complete market value. You pay it on an assessed value. So for instance, your house might be worth a certain amount if you sell it, but that is not what the assessed value is from the city. Look, I'm a property owner. Property taxes go up every year. My taxes have gone up every year. Property taxes are a direct correlation of the expenses of the city and not the rail.
Will residents really spend 90 minutes riding the rail? And can they afford the cost for the rail to Boston?
Absolutely. You know, the Worcester line is about an hour and a half long too, and their cars are constantly packed. The fact is, Route 24, 93 are a choke point. It takes over 90 minutes, sometimes 2.5 hours to get to Boston, whether it be a regular time, a commute time, because of accidents, because of weather. 90 minutes is not a long time to travel to Boston. As far as the cost, while we don't know what the complete cost is going to be for a round trip ticket, and that will be probably given out next year as they firm up the schedule, we can say that currently right now, as the rates look on the different zones in the MBTA down in this area, the cost for a round trip ticket is actually less than paying for parking in Boston for the day. And that doesn't include the gas that it takes to get up there and the wear and tear in your car. So yes, I do believe people will take 90 minutes to get to Boston, and yes, it is far less expensive on a round trip ticket than it would be to drive up there on your own.
How will city residents be positively impacted by the SouthCoast Rail?
Our city residents don't all have reliable transportation or the ability to go up and down Route 24 or into Boston. All of our residents deserve opportunities. Opportunities for employment and training, opportunities for education. We have Bridgewater State University on the rail line. We have UMass Boston on the rail line. Various other colleges and universities in Boston as well. Opportunity for medical services. We have some great medical services in the SouthCoast area. However, there are specialized services in Boston that some of our residents need. And then there are folks that need to visit residents that are in need of those services in Boston. Then there's also economic development. We have tourism coming down from Boston. People coming down for a day trip, people coming down for an overnight, spending money in our cities, spending money with our local businesses. That's just as important. So, you know, New Bedford, Fall River, Taunton, we're the only cities 50 miles of Boston that don't have rail. And it's time that the residents of our city and the small businesses of our city have the same opportunities as other communities do around the state.